Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Glad you made it. Social production. We're doing it. That's right. Thank you for joining me, boys and girls, everybody in and around the world, wherever you're tuning in from. If it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? On Instagram, follow me there. Subscribe on the YouTube channel if you like to get the full-length videos. Check out patreon.com/RobSadger if you'd like to fiscally, financially support the show. If you've been with me from the get-go, sending all the love right back to you. Tuning in every Wednesday and Friday, twice a week, baby. Doing 365 all around the world, wherever you are, whether it's Canada, down south in the US, further down south, Mexico, South America, Asia, Europe, Africa, Antarctica, Middle East, over there, on the tip of the icebergs, floating in the cold oceanic waters of wherever the fuck. And you're fishing, you're knee deep in a pond fishing, but watching the program, tuning in. Welcome, mi familia, mi syndicate, we are one. Globally speaking, that is. It's Friday. It's June the 20th, 2024, of course. What an exciting time to be alive. I hope you're doing well, wherever you are. Let's get a sip because it's Friday, baby. It is Friday. Let's get a sip of this coffee right. Let's sip for a second. Let's get this. This is my first cup of coffee for today. That's the way I likes my coffee. I likes my coffee the same way I likes my women's. Rich, dark black. Of course, that's one of the best combos of women and beverages. Because I've thought about it. It's one of my favorites. I'll say one of my favorite type. I like some of my women's to be dark, rich, and black. I could say that. I've tried with other liquids and other women too. I like if you catch, if I'm out there with a bag of milk, I will say, that's the way I like my women's in a bag, and also creamy white, in a carton of milk. That's the way I like my women, in a carton and white and rich and creamy. It works with what, or and I'm not, because the way, or if I'm holding a beverage and it's yellow, let's say orange juice, which is yellow, which is actually not orange. It's actually more so, at least the orange juice I consume is yellow, but I could drink that and say it's the way I like my women. Rich, liquidy yellow gold with yellow women. Or, if I'm drinking a strawberry milkshake, I could say, that's the way I like my women, red and creamy red women is the way I like my, or if I'm drinking some sort of if it's like iced coffee, what I'm talking, so it's kind of like light brown. I could drink that, if it's got a hint of cream and sugar in it, and it's not rich, but that's the way I like my women's, rich, creamy, and off white brown, different shades of brown. That's the way I like my women's, with liquids with. So that's you could really do it with any beverage and any woman. So it really depends. But it does work best when you happen to be drinking coffee and drinking a black woman. It goes hand in hand. So I shout out to everybody. Love is love, of course, and we don't discriminate around here. So I think we covered all the beverages and the skin tones. Did I leave anybody out? If I'm drinking a blend of cucumber juice, cucumber juice and just a bunch of grass. If I'm drinking grass juice, I could easily say that's the way I like my women, olive skin women with and rich green with the greens. I like my women's with the green, or if I'm olive juice. If I'm just drinking olive juice right out the can, right out of the tit from a. I'll grab an olive and drink the juice from the tits of the olive, and I'll say that. That's the way I like my women. Green on the outside with a red center, and creamy and rich and dark. So you see, it works really with all. You don't even need to stick with beverages, to be honest with you. I could be holding a banana, would have been a great example for my Asiatic loves out there. I could have easily held on to a banana and said, that's the way I like my women. They're yellow on the outside, creamy white on the inside. Solid, but if you like chew on it, it'll get creamy. You could, whip it up. I like my women, like, if it doesn't even need to be coffee. I could say, I like my women if I were, munching on dark chocolate or any chocolate for that matter. That's the way I like my women. Crunchy in a way, gooey and brown. Really, it works with any food. And you're like, what about the men's out there? What about the females who want to take a sip of their coffee and drink a bag of their? Could you reference that to male? I suppose you could. It's never been done, but guess what? They never said they said something, I don't know. People talk. So you could easily say that you might have not done it with men's, but you could easily drink a cup of coffee and say, that's the way I liked my men's, rich, dark, and black, and liquidy and moist. Or again, if you get a can of whipped cream and just shake it and put it in your mouth and just squirt, and you could say that. You could say, that's the way I like my men's, in a can and whipped and creamy white. Or you could, again, it works. I think you could test it out. Let me know which way. I do. I think the best one is the black and the women. It goes really well together. That's the way I like my women's, black and in a cup. That's the way I like my coffee. Full-titted coffee, black, please. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wherever you're tuning in from, it is Friday. Lots of exciting events are unfolding right before our pants. And I, for one, am hard as you are. I can see by the enlarged clitoris that's popping up like a little morning flower. What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls? We are. Let's get right into it. The things that we are doing as a species are incredible. I'll say this. Are you a fan of robotics? Are you a fan of Boston Dynamics? Are you a fan of other large corporations that create robots, which I can't name them all, but you like a Japanese company that makes robotics? Do you envision yourself in 5 to 10 years getting a robot of sorts? Were you worried about it not having the actual physical features that resemble a real human being? And the biggest indicator of that is what? The living skin, of course, ladies and gentlemen. Living skin. We've now cultivated living synthetic live skin. We are doing it together. It's exciting. I believe we're doing it in Japan. I'm sure others would probably be working on their own synthetic human engineered skin. I don't know how they make it. They make it from cells in a lab, and they put it in, petri dishes, and they got Bunsen burners, and they got beakers, and they were probably wearing protective gears. They are probably working with, those, there's probably like a wall, and there's 2 holes where there's space for you to ram your hands through the wall, and it's got gloves on it on the other side. So you're really working with your hands from behind a wall, but it's kind of like a large condom for your hands. You know what I'm talking about. Those large condoms for scientists who want to work with their hands but don't want to do it raw dog, and they want to do it behind a glass. They want to put it behind glass and just play around with that thing from a near but from afar, touching but also not touching, which is great. What are we even talking about? We're talking about live skin, of course. That's right. Live skin. Did you always say to yourself, man, this robot that I've gotten in 2024 is great, but I wished Sonya was a little bit more hyper realistic. The skin is a little bit, it feels like plastic. Guess what? Guess what, fam? Real skin for real fake skin for real people. No, real fake skin, real fake people with real skin. No, wait, real skin fake people. There it is. Real skin fake people, aka robots with real skin. Do you like it? Well, let me ask you this: do you like making love to a robot that's just, shiny and probably metallic, gunmetal robot? Maybe that's actually kind of all right, in a futuristic kind of, in a retro, if we're looking at it through like, synthwave glasses, halfway filled cup of synthwave glasses, we could potentially see a robot with a, metallic bot 2029, 2045, probably. Yeah, we're probably gonna see that. Already is happening. It's probably happening on the underground right now. I bet you it is already. A little bit of it is in the overground. You can walk into certain shops and get plenty. You could go there empty-handed, come out there with, oh man, whole array of fun toys for you and your loved ones. But that's happening. We are making real skin for fake people, which will add more to the realness, which I'm happy, because if you are getting head from a robot with metallic lips, if it's like gunmetal black, once again, kind of hot, not gonna lie to you. They're getting there. They're getting there. Maybe not right now, but with the right lighting and with the right amounts of, you could, the right song and a glass of wine. Next thing you know, yes, what seemed like a piece of rotary in the garage now looks like a fine piece of ass in the living room with the right, again, lighting. Music, it goes a long way. I'm just saying it's I'll say this, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting live skin on robots. I like this. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't want people just, it's one of those things, just because we can, should we? Do I want to see, can we exercise this little concoction of whatever you want to, if it's real fake skin. What about burn victims? If we got burn victims, I've seen a guy on the street, he sits there with his shirt off and he's a burn victim, and he's exposing himself to more sunlight, but he's trying to collect money. I imagine it's very difficult if you are a full bod burn victim. I don't know this beautiful gentleman's name, but he's out there. I've seen him. Could we cover this fella up with real fake skin? Real fake. It's real. And if it works, it works. If it don't crack, it's black. If it don't smile, so that's all I'm saying. Is let's start with the burn victims. Let's start with, by the way, I'm not too worried about our robots being covered in reels, because I've been hearing this. I don't know what the stats are, but everybody's talking about this. Personally, I've never been obese. I've been a little bit chunky at times, like a good type of chunky in my own head. Now, I'm not saying like I was happy with it in terms of like, it wasn't obese. It was, lots of protein juice, lots of fucking, just milking cows and just, raw steaks and just tuna fish, just blend it up in a milkshake and just, ram it down your throat every hour. And then I took a lot of calories for a period of time. Let's just say that. Never got fat. I got big. I definitely got big. But that's the thing. I do hear people, we are generally speaking as a species, we do have, obesity is an issue. It's become, so I'm not worried about that though. Because you hear the drugs, there's so much out there. There's so much you could do out there. You could inhale, you could sniff a bunch of Ozempic and go run on a treadmill. And, and if you're like, man, I need something else to motivate me to get me running on a treadmill, go empty out your bank account, put it in a briefcase, find a homeless person, hand the briefcase to the homeless person, place the homeless person on a large treadmill in front of you, start chasing the homeless person with your briefcase filled with, unmarked 20s if you like, and chase them, and then eventually stop, and then maybe open the briefcase, give him a couple of 20s, and then tell them come back the next day. And once again, hand them the briefcase, chase after, because a lot of people will chase, briefcase filled with money. You'll chase that. I don't care who you are, you'll chase it. If $1 million, your life savings, hand it to a homeless person, watch yourself become the best runner. What are we even talking about? I have no idea. But let's get a sip of this cup of black woman. And that's the way he likes his coffee, like his black women in a cup of coffee. And he liked his women black like the way he likes his coffee, black and dark and hot. And sometimes he likes his black women to be in a cup, and he'll consume the cup of black woman and he'll burn his tongue, and that's the way he likes his cup of coffee. But ladies and gentlemen, let's not get sidetracked. What were we even talking about? Oh, that's right. We were talking about skin. We were talking, we're worried about our robots not having access to loose, feral skin. Well, guess what? With all the obesity and in 5 to 10 years, if people lose the weight, we will end up with extra surplus skin. What do you do with surplus skin? You jack it up, you get a pair of scissors and you cut it off and you sell it on eBay. Live human skin for because that's the thing. There's gonna be, you could get upgraded. That's that next level shit. Eventually it's gonna get better. Eventually at one point somebody's gonna walk in and be like, I want my robot wrapped in human skin, fam. I don't want that fake shit. You know what I'm saying? The fake shit will be lit for a couple of years, 10, 20, 15 years. It'll be the shits. But down the line, in 50 years, you have somebody who's just brain dead, gunzo dunzo, rip off the skin, slide it on top of a robot. Next thing you know, oh man, this robot is creeping me out, but nonetheless, it's societally accepted. So I will continue to, we'll read a book. We will hold hands. We will bond in one shape or form. It's coming. So I'm excited for this real skin. It won't wrinkle. It's anti-wrinkle. You could put it in the laundry and you could wash it. You could spit on it. I've seen the scientists in the lab personally jizz on it and it wipes off just as easily as it would wipe off regular skin, which is fantastic. Great news. I'd hate to have real fake skin on a robot, jizz on it and have the jizz just stick. Hard to clean. No thanks, but thanks to our men and women, globally speaking, we are on the right path. I like this. What are I would like to see other applications. I want to see cars wrapped in real human skin. Let's see that happening. Why stick to just robots? Why not cars? Why not really any object for that matter? I want your phones wrapped in human skin. Fake skin, of course, but nonetheless, real life skin. You could give yourself a layer of skin. Give yourself people talking about, I got a little bit of, I got to worry about putting out SPF during summertime. Should I go out with fake skin? You can walk bare naked in fake skin. Not a big deal. Your actual skin intact, saved. Your family members beginning to get old. Gross, wrinkles, fake skin. You know what? I want everybody on fake skin. As soon as you hit, if you are, man, you know who you are out there. I want to put an age on it because once again, if it's black, it don't crack. If it's white, it's right. If it's yellow, it's mellow. If it's pink, yes. So if it's red, yes. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying if you start getting wrinkly and old and shit and creeping people out, fake skin is forget the moist. I think we've been doing it wrong with the injections and the pulling and the pushing and the laser. Just add a layer of fake skin. Everybody shrinks anyway. If you are, I don't want to put, again, because everybody's different. I don't want to put an age limit on it. As soon as you start, you see it. If you see it, other people see it too. Put on a nice, just a layer of new skin. You could be 87 years old underneath, but looking like a 25-year-old on the out. So at least people don't get grossed out. Stop being so selfish. You're like, finally, I'm at an age where I can finally feel comfortable in my skin. I feel like I'm still 25. Motherfucker, you don't look like you're 25. You don't. But guess what? I know it's all in the inside that counts. Or sometimes it's on the outside. So quit creeping people out with your wrinkly ass skin. You 175-year-old dried up human prune, creep people. Cover yourself up with humans. That should be the ad. creeping people out. That should definitely be the ad for fake live skin. Yeah, if you are, if you, I don't want to again put an age limit on it, but if you see wrinkles, fake skin is the, oh man, people just showing up to the beach, just getting ready. You gotta like put the fake skin on. You gotta spit on it, make sure it sticks properly, and then go in the water. Some of it is like peeling off, which is nice. Let's get that going. I want to see it on dogs, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie to you. They are man's best friend. Why not make them look more, human-like? Why not make them look more like us? Why should these dogs have, a furry coat? Yes, wonderful, they're cute, they're cuddly, but human skin covered dogs, that's the next step. Everything's upgrading. We can't be the only ones evolving with the tech. The other animals, some of them have got to evolve with us. If we're merging with tech, I want these pets to also be with your cat as well. If you've got a cat, whiskers, cover it in human skin, unless you got one of those actually already, maybe that's the future. Holy shit, the hairless cat are oh man, these fucking fucks, they are the cats of the future, aren't they? They're telling us the story. This is oh man, ball sack covered. Oh, just, I like it though. I could see us getting used to it. Yes, everything covered in fake skin. Buildings covered in live fake skin with faces on them. The roads covered in human skin but fake skin. Everything covered in, why not? It's actually one of the best materials out there if you think about it. It can get wet. It could stay dry too. So you could get wet to a degree but not get that wet as a human with human skin. Like I was out the other day, raining. You get wet, but it doesn't like seep into you. It seeps a little bit into you, but it doesn't, like, your insides don't get wet. Unless you're like submerged fully in wet, that's a different, but you know what I mean? It's a good material. I like it. So applying it to other things, oh man. Trees covered in human skin, yes. That way when you're hugging a tree, it really, really means something. So I like this idea. I like the fact that our robots will be covered in human skin in no time. I like the fact that we will be, robot lives matter. I'll be the first one who says it right here. Robot lives matter. AI, robotic lives matter. I'll say it right here. And they should be able to vote. They should be able to vote. They should be able to drive. They already do. They should be able to vote, drive. They should be able to join the army. Some of them are already in the army. Some of them started out in the army. They should probably, they should deliver mail. I believe they should work in, law. If they're practicing law, they should be, I would like to see a couple of robotic, lawyers, yes. Judges, yes. Doctors, yes. Real fake doctors with real fake skin, real doctors, fake skin doctors who are real. I don't even want to see your family members anymore. I just want to see robots covered in real fake skin. Because, I won't. So yeah, their lives matter. I'm excited about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have you wrapped anything up in fake skin? What if you give your penis an extra layer of fake skin? What if you just give your penis a layer of fake? Oh my God, I could give myself a black skin for my cock. Can I get some of that? I don't know who manufactures this. I believe it's a Japanese company. Could you DM me personally or leave a comment if I can get black skin for my cock? It's just a little bit experimental thing. I'm just working on something here. All right, let me know. It's live skin. Will it attach? And I don't know how it works, but I'm excited about it. You can mix and match at that point. You could be one tit black, one tit brown, one tit, if you've got 3 tits, you can work with different palettes. You can get a yellow skin. Again, these are not, I have not picked these, I was the one who came up with the names, man. I get it, the colors aren't even the colors. Black isn't even really black. Yellow is not yellow, white is not, none of these colors none of them make sense. It's just something we've agreed upon, but nonetheless, can I get, you can get again, going based on what we've collectively agreed upon, can I get one yellow tit, one off-white tit, one white tit, one yellow, one white tit, one black tit. I'll go one white, one black. I'm not, I will, yes. You know, I saw a guy the other day, he did that with his Air Force Ones. He had one white, one black. I'd like to do the same thing with my tits. One covered in real fake skin in black, the other one in white. So that everything else in between, and again, if there's a third tit, I don't know how we can work. I'm sure we can work in a third tit. We are there. We are at the precipice of tits, I tell ya. Tech is amazing and I'm hard for science. And that's the way he likes his women, in a cup filled with black. And that's the way he likes his women, made of beans and creamy black. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, lots of exciting things are happening, of course, in and around the world. And let's make some noise for Illinois. Illinois? Illinois. 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 The sound is ill. The noise is ill. We shall call this place Illinois. Illinois. A sinkhole, a massive gaping hole of a hole that was gaping, the largest gaping hole, sinkhole that is, popped up in the middle of a soccer field in Illinois. Because it's Illinois. Sinkhole, massive, largest, biggest massive sinkhole in, it's one of the biggest ones. I don't know if it's the biggest one, but I'm going to say, because we are the biggest podcast, the biggest hole, the biggest gaping hole. If you like holes, if you like things gaping, if you like, man, when the taints go marching in. Oh, when the taints go marching in. Oh, when the taints. What were we talking about? Illinois. Gaping holes, sinkholes. I'm all about it. Happened to be in the middle of a soccer field that just opened up, swallowed an entire nothing, but it was gaping and it was large and I like it. I don't know what caused it. They say that it captures the imagination, because it's one of those things, because you worry, so many of our things, you just get up every day, do your thing for about, a few hours, and it's nighttime, you go to bed, you wake up, and you just wake up, and you say, okay, it's going to be another regular day. It's just going to be, and you hope for it. Everybody, of course, hope for it, but then you see a gaping hole in the ground, and that's something that it's beautiful. It catches you off guard. You're like, man, beautiful regular day. Well, I'm glad I was in the middle of that soccer field. But again, you're happy to see it because it's nice and nature is nice. It catches you off guard. Because yes, so many things could potentially we are, right now as we're speaking, giant asteroids are whizzing by Earth. A couple of giant asteroids, right now. Giant asteroids just whizzing on by. It could, so we're living midair, floating midair. And again, we go to sleep. What happens there in 8 to 10 hours? Who knows? 6 to 8, 4 to 10, however long you sleep, whatever the fuck happens, we all just say, this. All right, shut it off, turn back on, and everything's back to normal in the morning, give or take. But then sinkhole, which is nice. Now they say it may have had something to do with potential mines in the area. I don't know much about this place, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm some sort of mine expert, although I have been known to go to a beach when I was a youngin' a couple of times and maybe have dug a couple of holes myself. So you guess, you could say, I guess you could say I'm, have I got dirt under these fingernails? Yes. Do I like when I dig a hole and eventually it gets wet? Yes. Do I like drilling for oil? Yes. Do I like the adrenaline of just grabbing a tiny yellow shovel and filling it up with buckets of sand and maybe building something, I don't know what, but not a sand castle, definitely a wall of sorts. I was a big fan of walls ever since I was a kid. Never built a sand castle, but a sand wall, my goodness. A couple of walls definitely got built. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, that a sinkhole has emerged. It's large, it's nice, it's intriguing. People ask, how could I get one? It's not one of those things where you can sign up for. It's not a Tesla, I'll tell you that. You can't just pre-order these things. If you're lucky, you'll get one. It happens at random. Sometimes lucky people see their beautiful cars being swallowed by a gaping hole in the earth. They're like, how did I get so lucky? Again, who knows? Oh, there goes my building. And it's say, who knows? So many different factors. I'm a fan of it, but one thing that I would like, I'm not just gonna be here. I'm not just a sinkhole yes man here. I'm not gonna just be like, yes, yes, there's a bias. I like holes. I like giant gaping holes. Yes, but I will be objective about it. Could the hole have been bigger? Of course, yes. You know, twice as big as either, and it would have been twice as impressive. So, you know, could it have swallowed something? I'm not out here saying swallow people or anything, but objects, fuck it up. If it's insured, swallow it up. I don't care. As long as nobody gets, I don't care. Telephone booths, swallow it up. Who's even using them? I take it back. I like telephone booths. There are, right now as we speak, there are only 377 telephone booths remaining on our streets today. With your help, we can help save the lives of impoverished telephone booths who've been neglected by their loved ones and can't seem to have anybody step in them and make a phone call anymore because nobody uses the coinage anymore. It's a sad situation, but we like to assist as much as we can. So if you are eating breakfast right now, for $5, you can buy yourself a telephone booth. You could own a telephone booth for $5 and send the telephone booths to school where they get educated and go off into the workforce and work and raise their own family members and become contributing members of society. Unless you're like, fuck these telephone booths, then never mind. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, that this isn't about telephone booths. This is about the gaping hole. Could I see improvements? Yes. Could I see a couple of, you know, things that we don't need? Like, why don't we just create sinkholes underneath, landfills where it's filled with garbage? So you're like, what are we to do with this garbage on the? This is a lot of garbage. Sinkhole it. Just sinkhole that shit. Why don't we create more mines around landfills? Get a couple of sinkholes. Where'd the garbage go? It's inside the earth now. Don't worry about it. No harm, no foul. It's on the ground. Don't worry about it. We buried it. Earth buried it. Could I see? Yeah. So right now it's more where it's in the early stages. I'm not going to be like, oh, this is, one step at a time. It's in the decorative. It's more like the aesthetic stages right now. Maybe down the line, you could see practical uses for sinkholes. I would potentially like to see alternatives to sinkholes. Like I've seen a lot, during the past few years, as you start to mature as a young man and you're, early 20s, mid 20s, going into your early 30s and whatnot, it is, you see a bunch of sinkholes throughout your lifetime. I've never happened to see, again, a point of, this is not something that I'm not coming in from, this is just because I wanted to do well. I would could we see a bubble forming? Could we see a large bubble forming? Could that happen? Why is it always sinkhole? Why doesn't the earth ever bubble up? You know what I mean? Because it's one of those things where you're like, if you have the ability to, go down, why not go up? So I'm not gonna say that I'm not impressed. A good sinkhole always gets me. It hits right. I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things. It just works for me. I get it. But I would like to see a couple of bubbles, just a giant bubble forming. And I'm not talking like volcanic explosions or eruptions of any sort. I'm talking about like bubbles. Can we get, because nothing just comes without going. You know what I mean? You don't come without going. That's written somewhere in stone. You can't come without going. Or you don't go without coming. You don't coming and going, and you know what I'm saying. If it's wet, it's wet. If it's wet, it works. That's what they said. So I'll say this. I will say this. I would like to see a little bit of just play around with the ideas, because again, you've shown us that you can make it just make it dip, but can you make it rise? I'd like to see a couple of bubbles. Let's get that going. Different areas. I'm not start small. I'm not talking about anything enormous right now. I know your whole focus has been on sinkholes. But yes, if we could see a couple of hills forming, just random hills, I'm down. I support it. I will support it. I'll get the hills on the show. I don't give a fuck. I'll do it. But ladies and gentlemen, it's exciting times, and we are living in the most wonderful time there ever was. So sip to the gang right here. And that's the way he drank his women in black cups of coffee. I see this as being a successful ad for black women in cups of coffee. This could definitely, if you're selling both, if you're selling black coffee and there happens to be women involved, I see that these lines are, and that's the way I like my black women, in a cup filled with coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, of course, let's not, I know, there's so many things going on. You're like, what else is going on? What else is exciting? What else is happening? Well, congratulations to Denmark, to my marks, to my Dens. What do you call, to my Danes? To my Denks. To my Denks. I like Denks better. To my Denks. Marks. Denmarks. Denks. Better than Danes. Danes are good, don't get me wrong. I like Danes. Danes is classic. But Denks is, what do you use? I'm a Denks, mate. I'm not quite sure how Denks sound, to be honest with you. We gotta get a couple of Denks. But the point is that in Denmark, we have now collectively as a human species, we are doing something that is a bit peculiar. And we've been doing a little bit of peculiarity in the past few years, and we just keep on turning up the dial, and you're like, man, the dial started out at 0, and then it turned into 1. And then eventually it was nice to see a little bit of the dial getting turned up in the beginning. It's just good to have a little bit, sure, absolutely, discussing different topics that, involve all of us. And yes, of course, it's good to be, of course, we could all be doing a little bit better in different forms, and we're all trying in different, but then what are we talking about? We're talking about turning up the dial and continuing to turn it up, keep turning it up. Turning it up and up and up and up. And up and up and up and up. And what dial is this? It's the dial that leads to you paying for that gas, baby. That flatulence. You want to be getting taxed for the tootin'. That's what Denmark's doing right now. Denmark has just signed some papers, and I don't know what they did, but they decided that they're collectively starting soon, I don't know when, in the next few years, maybe next few months, who knows, but a law has been passed that they're going to be taxing their farmers for the gas that's produced by their beautiful cows. The cows are farting, and it's causing methane, but that's normals. And they're saying in Denmark, hey, if we're going to tax you, it's going to make, oh man. So that's a little something that we're doing right there with our collective efforts. So essentially it's a fart tax is what it is, a tootin' gas, if you will, on animals. And it's to help climate change. Denmark. I think the entire nation is like 5 million people, if I'm not mistaken, 5-6 million people. And it's up north. Denmark. Contributing to, let's forget, but 5, I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time that we are getting there. We're getting there, and you're like, well, why should we care about the cows that are farting, and who cares about gas tax on the cow? Where will this lead? Where will this sick game lead, ladies and gentlemen? Because next thing you know, in order to better the environment, we're just taxing everything and taxing this and taxing that and taxing fart. And next thing you know, they're gonna be coming for your. Next thing you know, you're just a tiny little house raising a couple of cows. Next thing you know, they're gonna be attaching meters to your cow's asshole and watching it fart and putting it on some sort of dark web series. Watch cows fart and get charged per fart, per kilo fart. How much? And then somebody starts monetizing the fart online. It becomes a thing. I'm just saying, it could start from large farms, which will then hike up the price of food for you. Because it's one of those, like, it's solving. It's one of those things that if you don't watch out for, next thing you know, you're gonna be taxed for farting. You're gonna be taxed for farting. You and I will be taxed for farting, unless you want to be taxed for farting. But then what about breathing? What about regular breathing? What about people who breathe too much? You've been breathing too much. John, you're breathing too much. You're gonna have to tax you. What if man, what if every room you entered would charge you for the amount of breaths you took in that room? What if you're short on money and you stepped into a room and you only had 2 breaths left, and then you have to do some business in a particular room in a building? Or how much credit do you have to breathe, because we got to tax your breath? I swear to God, if I hear you fart, you're out of here, mister. At least you'll be billed and charged. And you're like, that's never gonna happen. Well, we've already started, ladies and gentlemen. We've already started taxing farts, man. Would I like to, I personally, I like less taxes in general. I'm a less taxes in general. I like, some taxes I get. Sure. But gas tax for the animals, the cows, the pigs, chickens, the snails, the rabbits. What's next? You got a baby coming on there. You got a baby on the way. Guess what? Guess who shits all the time and farts all the babies? It's gonna be a tax on your baby, because in the first 2 to 3 years, that's all they do. Eat, sleep, shit, and fart, and diarrhea, and burp, and throw up on your shoulder and on your chest, from what I've seen living life. And that's the way he sipped on his black women in a cup filled with coffee. Brought to you by Black Women Coffee. There should be a company that, if you are a company of black women with black coffee, I do genuinely like my coffee black and my women black. Some of my women black. We could do something together. And if you're a bag of milk out there, man, that's the way I like my women's. Filled with creamy white liquids. But ladies and gentlemen, that's just Denmark. I don't want to be, I'm just letting you know what's up and what I think's about it, and those are my 2 cents on the matter. Of course, let me know what you like. If you see, if you have a partner that you like to see get taxed for their farting in midday farting tax, dude. You can't fart between 5 to 7, Johnny. They'll say that. I don't know what your situation is. Let me know what you think. If you want to be taxed for farts, leave a comment. If you don't want to be taxed for farts, leave a comment. If you like farts, leave a comment. If you hire people to fart in your mouth, leave a comment. If you have loved ones doing it without you having to pay for it, leave a comment. If you are farting in someone's mouth right now, I'm a fan. If you are holding it in all day so you could fart, Because instead of farting during the day, like little farts, maybe you're the type of person that just like prolongs the situation, has one really long fart. Maybe you keep it and then you hold still from walking, and then you fart really long, and then the fart propels you forward. So at the end of the day, you're like, I've already taken enough steps, no more effort when it comes to getting to, you know, the fridge. You'll just, one large fart will just propel you to the fridge and back. I don't know. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that we're here together and we're doing it. And it's Friday. Lots of exciting things are happening. Of course, people are basically cats, is what I've thought about for the past several days. And yes, I will share it with you. Thank you for asking. What's on your mind? What's on your mind, me boy? You'll say that. Humans are like cats, and as we all know, if a cat happens to lose his or her whiskers, they will get off balance. They will be imbalanced. They will wobble, and they will waddle too, and they might fall, and they might not catch themselves, despite the fact that they're cats. You know, you could say if you were to trim a cat's whiskers, that might just, you know, take away a life or two. All I'm saying is humans are like cats. And very similar to cats, our pubic hairs are the reason why we actually find balance in life. Have you ever found yourself walking down the street and finding yourself to be kind of off balanced? Oh, how does he know? How does he know me so well? From the man, I know. A new scientific research study that I've conducted by myself, which had nothing to do with science, but then I said, let's make it about science. I found out that if you are walking around with an odd number of pubic hairs, you are off balance, homie. Ladies, did you go out last Saturday night and you're like, man, these heels are making it a little bit hard for me to walk. Oh, and then did you twist and like, you know, did you almost break your ankle and thought to yourself, maybe it was the couple of shots of vodka that I had at the club and now I'm walking in heels? Of course, it's your odd number of pubic hairs. Think about it for a second. If you've got an odd number of pubic hairs in your pubic region, you will find yourself are you doing a tightrope walk? Finding yourself off balance? Ask yourself, when was the last time you counted your pubic hairs? Exactly. Almost never. This shit never gets talked about. And a lot of people, 75 to 85% of people walk around with odd number of pubic hairs, which makes it difficult to live a balanced life. Well, guess what? I put an end to that shit when I saw it and heard of it and did my own research. I put an end to that shit. Pubic hair counter for individuals who want to be walking around confidently knowing that they've got an even number of pubic hairs on their pubic bone. You're welcome, everybody. Know how many pubic hairs you're working, exactly even number, whatever your number is. Make sure it's even so that you're balanced. 112, yes, please. 88, let's go. Whatever you're, 66, yes. 184, yes. Oh, what is this? I've got 181. You're fucked up now. But guess what? You'll never know unless you get the all new and improved pubic hair counter so that you know exactly how many pubic hairs you're working with. You son of a bitch. Sexy ladies out there with this will transform your life like Transformers transform from cars to robots and robots to cars. Impressive shit. Yeah, don't be finding yourself just like at the end of the day, oh, I'm a little bit, I need to sit down. You don't need to sit down. It's the number of pubic hairs that you're working with. Don't put your life or other people's lives at risk. Get with the times. Whatever your number is, make sure it's even. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on with birds? Why aren't they fucking during flight? What's up with that? I don't buy it, to be honest with you. I refuse to stand around and watch birds fly but never fuck mid-air. When they've got full potential fly fucking capabilities, why haven't we seen any birds fly fuck? Leave a comment if you know why birds do not fly fuck. They fly, they do fuck, but never the two. Never the two. And nobody's asked why. Why don't birds? Because they, guess who can't fly fuck? Humans can't fly fuck. Guess who else can't fly? Monkeys can't fly fuck. Guess who else can't fly fuck? Dinosaurs can't fly fuck. Guess who else can't fly fuck? Dolphins can't fly fuck. That's right. But then you're like, okay, somebody, some species, somebody's got to take this on. We had to go out of our way as a species. We had to build planes. Many people had to, unfeather a couple of feathered friends and stick those feathers to their arms and go running off a cliff in attempts of fly fucking. And they died a painful death. Not at first. They first got injured because it was like not a big fall. But then they're like, man, did I fall or was I flying? They're like, well, we can only test this out from falling from a higher cliff. So then they went on to some higher cliffs and then they died. Like, not eventually, because that cliff too was not high enough to kill them. It was just a painful fall that, ended with many broken ribs, removed gluteus maximus, but eventually they died. And eventually people learned that, we need to wrap ourselves in tin cans and go and fly thousands of feet up in the sky. And only then if somebody else is piloting the plane, can we sneak into the airplane bathroom and fly fuck. And that's as close as we've gotten. That with the best technology that we have right now. I don't care if you wear those squirrel suits and you've still not seen it. I don't care if you're sponsored by Red Bull or Monster Energy drink and you're fucking, getting in squirrel suits and jumping and gliding right off a cliff and just grinding on the Scottish grasslands and, just sneaking yourself between two large mountains and people are like, oh, and I don't care. We've still not seen fly fucking. The best we've got is the bathroom in it. And so yes, it does hurt me to stand here and know that there are animals in our kingdom, in our fucking kingdom, that have the ability to fly but never fly fuck. Well, it stops now. I'm putting an end to it myself, to be honest with you. If I see another couple of birds just mating on a branch, I will interrupt that penetration, which is not even real penetration, apparently. Because bird penises are, where are they? Where are bird penises? Where are bird penis? Yeah, let's look into that shit. What are you doing? Oh, 2-3 seconds of just, we got 2-3 seconds of rubbing on each other and I dispense the sperm into the female bird. What? But also I am happy that birds don't have giant penises, because then you'd have flyby penises all day. Maybe there is something to this greater design than maybe somebody, okay, fine. All right, I'm okay with the design, to be honest with you, looking up in the sky. Although we did get robbed on the flying pussies, because if I would take the flying dicks if we got flying puss up in the sky. You know what I'm talking about? Just midday look up in the sky, just V formation flyby of vaginas. I know they're bird vaginas, but still, if it was like hot pink vaginas in the sky doing flybys, and that's the way he likes his women, in flybys and filled with coffee and pissing. Rich black. But ladies and gentlemen, that's just a little something that I've noticed. You too might have noticed this, but yes, if you do see birds out there trying to mate on a piece, if you're not fly fucking, I'm not letting you fly fuck at all. If you're not gonna fly fuck, I'm not gonna let you fuck at all. If you're gonna be on a branch, if you're gonna be on a tree, if you're gonna be on the ground, eating, resting, getting water, building a nest, I get, but I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that shit anymore. Fly fucking birds or no birds fucking at all. That's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line. Had it up to fucking, it's sickening, but I will do my best, and it takes each and every one of us to step in and say enough is enough. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, of course, it's summertime. It's exciting times. Did I watch a little bit of yes, what happened last night? One of the biggest things that happened. And what are we talking about? Talking about Trump versus Biden, the first debate. First debate went down last night. It was, I'll say this. I am watching the debate, the first debate. It was I watched it so you don't have to, in case you've not watched it, in case you don't have time to watch it. I will give you the gist of it. There was a couple of, there was two people, getting in between the presidents right there. No audience, which was, so you had mediators, you had no audience, nice, and you had an hour and a half, 90 minutes to discuss different things, like the economy, like inflation, like the border, like dirty migrants, like some clean migrants, but dirty ones too. But then like inflation, but then the economy, and then slightly for a bit for COVID, and then Ukraine, and then the Middle East, and then the Iran, and then the economy again, once again, and then inflation, and then the jobs, and then lack thereof jobs, and then with the jobs again, and then lack thereof jobs, and then inflation, and then the economy, and then the Ukraine for a second. And everything, honestly, I'll say this. It was just looking at the end, objectively looking at the two candidates that are presented, Trump versus Biden. Just again, objectively looking at it, between the two candidates, again, objectively looking at the situation, looking at the candidates, I will say this. I will say many things. Honestly, objectively looking at it, Trump makes me, like, again, between the two, if I had and I don't have the option, I'm all the way out here doing things. But if I were to give, if for any reason, if they were to like show me these two people and say pick between these two people for anything, I would pick Trump. But that's just me. If they said, hear these two men talk for an hour and a half and pick them for anything, pick between you're going to spend the day with either of these men, doing whatever, or you're gonna be driving with these men for a day. Just you're gonna be on a field somewhere with these two men. You're gonna be in a confined space with one of these men for a day. If you're gonna sit down and have lunch with one of these men, you're gonna go out there and do this task with this man for a day. I would pick Trump. I would pick Trump to go fishing. I would pick Trump to go, golfing. I've never golfed, but but watching Joe Biden, and again, just objectively looking at it, I've never done acid. I'm not saying I won't, but I would imagine is what Joe Biden sounds like. Again, objectively looking at it, after 30 seconds of Joe Biden talking, it just feels like I would imagine that's what it would sound like if I were to take acid. Just melting brain. Just my brain, his brain melting, and then melting my brain. His brain melt, and then my brain as a result of the brain. Because, again, acid, never done it, but I would think it's borderline if I ever had a moment where I'm like, okay, well, words and, sentences and just overall, Trump looks good, objectively looking at it. I grew up watching, I guess, a bit of The Apprentice. That was my introduction to Trump. He literally looks the same, pretty much looks the same. Give or take a little bit of it, everybody ages a little bit, but give or take, he pretty much looks the same. So again, objectively looking at it, I would like to, if I got a chance, I'd much, much rather, again, objectively looking at it, no dog in this dogs, like, I don't know what, no dogs, what's that saying that they said, no, I've got no dogs in this dog park. What am I doing in this dog park without a dog? I've got no dogs in this. I'm in a 1970s Asian wet market. I've got no dogs in this dog selling stand. I've got no dog in this dog experiment. If I were to be some sort of a, animal rescue slash, some sort of like, doctor that does, I'm not a veterinarian. I've got no dogs in this clinic. With the classic saying, I've got no dogs in this space. I don't have any dogs in this space. I've got no dogs sitting playing poker in this painting. I've got no dog. None of these dogs are my dogs. I don't own a dog. When it comes to dog ownership, I don't own dogs. What is that famous saying that they say? There are no dogs. I don't have a dog in this space. I don't have a dog in this Grace. I know a female named Grace. I don't have a dog in this Grace. There's no dog inserted in this Grace's vagina. I know Grace, and she clearly doesn't have a full-blown pit bull coming out of her vagina. I don't have a dog in this Grace. That's not, and if it happens to be a pit bull in Grace's vagina, I'll tell you what, it's not my dog. It's not my dog. Probably Grace's. It's hard to fit a pit bull in a vagina. Then again, people do miraculous things all day, every day. I've seen a whole lot of bigger things coming out of vaginas, so I'm not surprised. Maybe there will be a, but again, it's not my dog. I don't have a, dog in this lace. These laces don't come with, I don't have a dog in this lace. My shoes are laced up, but I don't have a dog in this lace. I don't have a dog in this trace. I don't have a dog in that. I'm tracing these steps, but I don't have a dog in this trace. I'm trying to draw something. I'm trying to replicate an image, and I'm trying to trace something. I don't have a dog in it. This isn't a. I'm not trying to trace it. I don't have a trace, and I don't have a trace of this. I don't have a dog in this trace. Objectively looking at it, I think you get the point. Every time the camera flashed on Joe Biden's face, it looked like he'd seen a ghost, and he's extremely confused. I don't know if he was wearing, it just, if it's just him, and I'm not even saying any of these, because at this point, like, it's just like, there's, at a certain point, again, everybody's measured and judged different. Again, it goes, same thing with the wrinkly skin. Some people might be 175, but they are blessed with beautiful genes, but they still look like they're in their 30s. Fantastic. You don't need to get the fake, real fake skin. You can just rock on. But some people need that second layer of fake skin to make them look as if they're still in their 30s. Cognitively speaking, some people might be, in their golden era, but still functioning really well. Others might not be. And in that case, it's just like, so I felt my brain melt because I did watch the entire thing. I wanted to see what's up. Again, no, I don't have a dog in this. I don't have a dog. I would like a dog. I would like a dog. If you like to see me get a dog, let me know. What kind of dog should I get? I'm glad you asked. Down the line, when I have the time and space, and I will, allocate a little bit of, maybe a medium-sized dog, not a small. I can't do small dogs, and I'm not gonna do my all-time favorite dog of dogs, which is my favorite dog. I would love to. one day, maybe if everything is, let's not, you know, would I be extremely happy with a Afghan hound? Would I be frolicking on a hill with my Afghan hound, being the happiest man running with a Afghan hound, just both our tongues out, just, you know, chasing butterflies and how to catch a butterfly? That's one of those things that's like, what do I need? And you know, sometimes people like to just take a little net and be like, I'm going out there to catch me a butterfly. And if you leave it up to me to catch a butterfly, I'll tell you what I need. I need a room full of ammunition, large guns, automatic, semi-automatic, laser beams, you know, automated weapons, probably something with a drone. If I'm trying to catch a butterfly, I need something, you know, a couple of hollow heads. I don't even know what that is. Couple of large missiles, some sort of, you know, hypersonic, anti-gravity, you know, no propulsion system, something if I'm trying to catch a butterfly. But that's just, or you could just go out with a net, or you could just go out with a net and try to catch a butterfly. But that's just again, whatever works for you works for you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining me once again. It's a journey. It's a beautiful journey. Whatever you're doing out there, I'm excited for you and me doing it together. Thank you for being a part of my life and letting me be a part of yours. This weekend, I am excited. If I'm not mistaken, it is UFC 303, bitch. It's going down, son. And this time, there is no time to pull out. No, wait. This time, nobody's pulling out this time. I'm excited. I know Conor McGregor is supposed to fight. I'm still looking forward to whenever Conor comes back. It's still exciting. 303. Oh man. So that's gonna be happening this week. I'm gonna be tuning in. I'll be watching that. We can talk about it a little bit, maybe perhaps next week. But who knows? Whatever you're doing out there, if you're halfway through impregnating her, congratulations, you're almost there. 57 more pumps and you're there, baby. Let's go. And lady, congratulations to you two for also being receptive to receiving his seed, and with your egg and his seed, you will have a baby. So congratulations, and that's how sex works. Doesn't pay much, but that's how sex works. Not for everybody. Like a top earn. Like if you want to be a top earn, I'm not here to talk about like top earn because it's difficult work. I appreciate you out there, whatever you're doing out there. If you are enjoying your weekend, hell yeah. If you're about to start your weekend, let's go. If you're out there getting it, whatever it is, maybe AIDS, let's go. I will be back here next week. So where can you find these videos? Once again, if you've been with me from the get-go, you know where to find me. It's Instagram. Follow me there. Subscribe on the YouTube channel for the full-length videos. Check out patreon.com/RobSadri, and I'll be back here again next week. Stay hard, get wet. Peace out. Love y'all.